any business, you're going to need a business license unless you're working for somebody else. Most states require you to have a body art license. This just entails the health department coming to your facility and making sure that you're up to code. Before starting, you're going to need to get your bloodborne pathogen certificate. This can be taken online. It's about $20 and it takes about 1 to 2 hours.
Each state has different licensing requirements, but probably, and I research states on a day-to-day basis trying to help our students figure out if they can get licensed, whether they should consider getting trained, because if you can't get licensed, then, obviously that's not a path to go down.
Touch base on that really quick, that you said that? So some of the states that are really strict, two that come to my mind right off the bat are Colorado and Oregon. So I've trained a few girls that have come to me after their trainings in Oregon. I like that Oregon is trying to set their standards high. I do like that. Problem is that any school can be accredited with them if they are willing to pay the price. So you can spend $150,000 a year with them, and you're now the school that they recommend. But when I watch how these girls are taught, it is so frightening to me that they're actually able to go out and work on people after the way they've been taught. I mean, we are retraining so many girls that have spent $10,000 on their training in Oregon or in Colorado because they don't actually go and look at the quality of the work or how the teacher is teaching in that school. They just care that you get a certain amount of hours, and they don't care how they teach you.
Training, for example, like Colorado, we've got a student that she came to our school and then she was able to get licensed, but the state needed more. For her to get licensed, I think she spent $300 and got some permanent makeup
I have heard
license
that too.
online. And she was smart enough to realize, I'm only taking this class to get licensed. But the state requirement was, okay, we got to get trained from a facility in our state that they've approved. And so it's a cheap, quick, and easy way for the state to come up with a regulation because somebody with some special interest wanted to try and control it. But as I was saying, most states just require you to get a business license like any business, and that will fall under body art. Probably 90% of the states out there just require you to get a business license. You'll need to get your bloodborne pathogens.
Do you need a business license if you're going to work for somebody, an already existing business?
No, if you're going to work for somebody, then you'll just work under their license. But most students that I talk to are kind of wanting to set this up, and they think they're going to start doing it on the side, and a lot of times it becomes their full-time thing. Regardless, they've got to get a business license, and it would most likely be under body art. Some states have it under tattooing or permanent cosmetics.
Okay, a lot of my students say, okay, once I have my business license, or let's just say that they've incorporated, that they're an LLC, or that they've incorporated their business, they say to me, do I still need to get permanent makeup insurance? My answer to that is yes, you do.
It doesn't matter if you're an LLC corporation or just a sole proprietor. So, a lot of people kind of get caught up on that. That's something you can decide with your accountant down the road, like kind of what type of a business you're going to be established as for tax purposes. But the main thing is just getting a business license to charge clients, because you can't charge anyone unless you don't have a client.
And then getting your permanent makeup insurance, which is not a lot of money. It's
not
very inexpensive.
There's a couple different insurance groups that we can recommend you guys. Some will require, don't worry about the hours you have. Some want to see that you have 100 hours. A general rule of thumb is what we've seen is the more hours and training experience you have, it's going to help you with your right, the policy you get, the price and the type of coverage.
There's a lot of different companies out there. We're not sponsored, although I wish we were. This is not a plug for them. This is just who we use. We use Zem Insurance, and I think they're amazing. Yep. So that's a great permanent makeup one. There's some other ones. A lot of girls say, I'm a massage therapist. Will my insurance cover that? Call them and ask them. They may only cover facials or massage. They may not cover permanent makeup. So make sure that you call and ask, does permanent makeup fall under the umbrella of what my insurance is covering? Right?
Yeah. Going back to, with students trying to figure out if they can get licensed and whatnot, a lot of these departments, if you call to your city to ask about licensing and you say, oh, can I get the license for microblading? They're not going to know what you're talking about. So that's why I say start off with body art, ask them what you need to get a body art license. If they don't know what that is, then say permanent cosmetics. But typically they'll know it.
And in most places, to get that, it's your blood-borne pathogen certificate, which is online. It's like $20. It takes an hour or two. right? And then the next one would be them coming to your facility and making sure that it's OSHA compliant. We get a lot of questions, a lot of people saying, can I work out of my house? Do I have to be in a doctor's office? Do I need to be in a nail salon and a hair salon? Where you work is really, I know in Utah, they allow you to work out of your house. You have to have a separate entrance. You have to have hardwood floors, access to a sink, things like that. In California, I don't believe you're allowed to work out of your house. So those are things that you need to look in your own state and see what the requirements are. Outside of that, I think you could pretty much have a room anywhere, right?
Yeah, there's just a couple requirements, and the working out of the house question really just depends on the zoning in your area. So that's individual to your, not even to the state, but to the area you're in.